What this local hiker found in the forest 10 miles from his home is still hard to explain. It was a secret that miraculously had been kept hidden for years. But when the unexpected adventurer found this remote metro station in the middle of the woods, he could not help but be captivated by it. And things got even stranger when he found out it was still powered. But before we start, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. Kevin always loved being alone in nature, away from traffic, voices, and endless screens. He had started this hike several hours earlier and hadn't crossed paths with another human being since, which suited him perfectly. The forest surrounded him with its soft soundtrack, birds trilling overhead and wind shaking loose branches. Isolation calmed him as though he had escaped the world. But this comforting solitude would soon become the very thing he regretted more than anything else imaginable. The narrow trail curved left, forcing him to adjust his stride. That's when Kevin noticed something strange beyond the dense wall of green. At first, he believed it to be nothing more than sunlight glinting against a stone or fragment of glass. But the gleam didn't vanish. His curiosity tugged strongly, pulling him away from the marked path and deeper into brush. Slowly, cautiously, he pressed forward, parting branches, uncertain what strange object he was moving toward. After trudging through heavy undergrowth for several exhausting minutes, Kevin stepped into a wide clearing and stopped abruptly, his breath catching in his chest. Towering above him was a sheer cliff face, covering the entire northern boundary of the forest like an impenetrable wall. Scaling it was impossible. Yet even this wasn't the strangest sight. Right against the rock stood something deeply unnatural. A glass-covered metro entrance, strangely clean yet misplaced, as though transported directly here from the city. Kevin crept closer, circling this impossible structure. From every angle, it resembled an ordinary city metro entrance. A roof of grimy glass stretched above rusted steel beams, though vines now curled around parts of the frame. Wild grass surrounded it where sidewalks should have been. Directly before him stood a heavy iron gate, sealed tightly. Beyond its bars, he glimpsed escalators vanishing into darkness. A staircase of steel descending deep into unseen depths beneath the forest ground. The bizarre sight chilled him, prickling his skin. Yet Kevin's curiosity burned brighter than his instinct to turn back. He couldn't resist. He leaned close, squinting through the gate at the motionless escalators, mind racing over where they might lead. Glancing around nervously, he half expected someone to emerge from the trees, watching. No one was there. "I have to figure this out," he whispered. Later, he would regret not leaving immediately while the choice still existed. Kevin crouched low before the gate, examining every bar and seam. Oddly, there was no external lock, keypad, or visible mechanism securing it. Whoever had built this place hadn't intended for anyone outside to open it easily. He thought briefly of prying the entrance loose with a tool, something like a crowbar, he murmured. His eyes swept the ground, searching for a broken branch thick enough to wedge between the iron bars and force leverage. Pushing aside a hanging curtain of tangled leaves, Kevin abruptly froze. Hidden among creeping ivy was a forgotten panel of wires, several small spinning rotors, and one oversized red button squarely in the middle. He stepped closer, brushing vegetation away until the metal surface gleamed faintly. His heart thudded. "What is this doing here?" he muttered. The equipment looked weathered and old, but surprisingly intact, as though someone had hidden it here intentionally to remain unseen. Kevin hesitated only briefly before pressing the strange red button. He expected nothing, perhaps only a dull click or silence. Instead, the entire structure surged with sudden life. The concealed rotors whirred at once. Lights along the dusty console blinked rapidly, and a deep mechanical hum spread outward. Kevin stumbled back a step, stunned. The once dead metro entrance, quiet for who knows how long, was suddenly alive again, vibrating faintly as though it had been waiting for this moment. The transformation accelerated. Harsh white bulbs overhead flickered to life one by one, casting light across the glass enclosure. Down below, the escalators, dormant for years, jerked stiffly before clattering into motion, carrying invisible passengers downward. Then came a loud metallic clang, and the heavy front gates shuddered before retracting completely into the ground. Kevin stared, disbelief painted across his face, heart racing. Kevin pulled out his phone and activated the camera, leaning over the edge to capture the descent. The escalator groaned beneath him just as the screen flickered with something shifting below. His damp fingers slipped. The phone clattered against the railing before landing on the escalator. Kevin's stomach knotted. He stood helpless, fists clenched. That phone held everything. Panic gripped him. After what felt like forever, the escalator ended with a clank. Kevin stepped cautiously onto the cold floor. It rested on dusty ground. Screen cracked but still pulsing dimly. Kevin crouched and advanced cautiously. Reaching the device, he snatched it up, brushing off debris. He turned it over. Cracks radiated like spider webs, but the power button still responded. The glow returned. Relief swept over him. Holding the glow close, Kevin scanned the empty hall. Cracked tiles stretched into shadow. His breathing echoed strangely. His fingers clenched around the phone, and with careful steps, he moved forward, deeper into the still, engulfing shadows. Kevin's shoes tapped softly on grimy tile as he ventured further into the enormous underground chamber. The place resembled a metro station frozen in time. Old posters clung to the walls, some barely legible. Kevin's light revealed a date over 30 years old. He stiffened. The place had been sealed for decades, yet the escalator had worked. Questions crowded his mind. Why was there a metro station in the middle of the forest? Why was there still power? Suddenly, something streaked through the beam. Kevin recoiled, his heart slamming in his chest. He checked his phone and replayed the footage. The video showed the moment his phone had tumbled down the escalator, but something else appeared. A man, gaunt, pale, wearing ragged clothes. He leaned toward the lens, eyes sunken and wide. Kevin stared in shock. This wasn't his imagination. Someone had been here the entire time, the video continued. When Kevin had shouted earlier, the man reacted, scrambling away, disappearing into the tunnels. Kevin's blood ran cold. He hadn't been alone. He had been watched. Shoving the phone into his pocket, Kevin focused on the heavy door ahead. This was the same direction the man had taken. A chill crept down his spine. Whoever that man was, he had slipped through here into something far more hidden. Kevin swallowed, his resolve hardening. He needed to know why someone would stay behind in a place like this. With a shaky breath, he pushed the heavy door open. It creaked and groaned, revealing a narrow chamber cluttered with debris. Broken furniture and boxes lay strewn about. Someone had lived here, hidden beneath the forest for years. He stepped further in, scanning the room for any movement. Before he could get closer, a loud creak echoed behind him. Kevin spun around. The heavy metal door began to swing closed. "Wait!" he shouted, lunging forward. His fingers reached for the frame, but he was too late. With a metallic slam, the door sealed itself shut, cutting off his exit. Darkness pressed in as Kevin's heartbeat thundered. He was trapped. He pounded on the door until his arms burned. Nothing happened. "Think," he whispered, forcing himself to focus. There had to be another way. Kevin stepped cautiously through the wreckage, eyes locking on the far corner. The flattened, stained blanket hinted at years of use, but beside it stood a rusted metal locker. He grabbed the stiff handle and pulled. The locker groaned open. Dust billowed as it revealed folded clothes, scattered canned food, and atop it all, a battered notebook. Kevin brushed the cover clean. Faded ink marked the name Willem. He raised his voice gently, calling out, "Willem, I found your notebook. Can you come out and talk?" His words echoed, then faded into heavy silence. Kevin flipped through, searching for clarity. Many pages were blank, but on the final page, one line stood out, written in bold with pressure that tore slightly through the paper. "When intruders arrive, do your Shawshank Redemption." Kevin blinked at the phrase. "Shawshank Redemption," he whispered. Was it a warning? A coded clue? He clutched the notebook tighter, thoughts racing. Then it clicked. The movie, The Prison Escape, crawling through tunnels, hiding the entrance. His eyes darted back toward the walls. There had to be something hidden. He scanned the bare walls again and then froze. A crooked metro map hung on the far wall, frame tilted as if disturbed. Stepping closer, he lifted the dusty frame, revealing a narrow tunnel carved into stone. It was real, a hidden passage, just like the movie reference. Kevin crouched and shone his phone's light inside. As he leaned in, shadows shifted. A face stared back. Kevin emerged into a hidden room. His light revealed Willem pacing anxiously, thin and frail, trapped with no way out. Kevin raised his hands. "I'm not here to hurt you. I just want answers." After a long silence, William exhaled and said, "Yes, I'm Will. You found everything I tried to keep hidden." His voice cracked with emotion. "This has been my hiding place my whole life." "Really? No one's ever come this far." "You're the first," he began to explain. In the late 1980s, the city planned new neighborhoods and built metro stations ahead of time. This one was finished. Entrances, ticket booths, escalators, everything ready. But the housing plans collapsed, and the station was abandoned before anyone used it. There were supposed to be several stations. Only this one was completed, William said. They even staffed it briefly. "I got a job here." Finally, something steady. But once the project was canceled, everything was shut down, the staff dismissed. The power remained, but the purpose disappeared. Will had nowhere else to go. So I stayed. Kevin listened silently. The room echoed with the weight of Will's story. He clenched his fists. After the closure, I had nothing. No job, no home. I slipped back into the streets like I never left. Kevin listened silently, feeling the depth of William's quiet collapse. With nowhere else, I came back here, William confessed. For 30 years, I've lived here. He continued, softer now. The station protected me. Down here, I didn't have to prove anything. I became invisible, and somehow that was enough. His lips trembled slightly. It was lonely, but safe. Then his eyes dropped. But silence eats away at you. That's why I watched you today. Why I took the risk. His hands trembled. Curiosity got the better of me. He looked at Kevin with hesitation. Would this stranger expose him, push him out into a world he no longer knew? But Kevin met his gaze calmly. "I won't tell anyone," he said. "You don't have to be afraid of me." The words settled between them, fragile but real. "I'll come back," Kevin added. "Bring food. Talk. Laugh, maybe." William blinked, surprised, but Kevin wasn't finished. He explained that the door had locked behind him. They were trapped. William gave a raspy chuckle. "That happens. I built a hidden release. Only way to open it from inside." He tapped the stone wall, eyes glinting with quiet pride. He knew these tunnels better than anyone. Together, they crawled back through the narrow escape route. Dust clung to their clothes, but Will led with confidence. Reaching the main chamber, he pressed a concealed panel. A loud click echoed. The door groaned open. Will guided Kevin toward the escalators. As they emerged into fading daylight, both paused, exchanging a silent look, relief, understanding, and something close to gratitude. Days later, Kevin returned with sandwiches in hand. And from that visit forward, something unexpected took root. Friendship.